Hi everybody and welcome back to Wildlife Wednesday. My name is Dara and I'm an education intern here at Turpentine Creek. And it's October and that means one thing, it is spooky season. And in my opinion, there's nothing spookier than a black cat. Except maybe a black big cat. Presently, we have two black big cats at their refuge. There's Spike, our black leopard, and Bagheera, our black jaguar. Spike and Bagheera were both born with a condition known as melanism, which is the overproduction of the dark-colored pigment melanin. And I'd like to note that these dark-colored cats are the same species as their lighter counterparts. There's no real difference between a black leopard and a regular leopard except for the color of their fur. It's kind of like how I have brown hair and somebody else has blonde hair and someone else might have red hair. Melanistic cats can actually occur naturally in the wild, but it's fairly rare. For example, melanism occurs in only 6% of leopards and in 10% of jaguars. So it can happen, but not super often. And currently there are a total of 11 wild cat species that can exhibit melanism, including leopards, jaguars, and servals, just to name a few. And now, delving further into melanism, it actually occurs as a result of a genetic mutation, except this particular mutation evolved independently in multiple feline species over time, which indicates that melanism may have an evolutionary advantage for cats. What that advantage is, we don't quite yet know. The adaptive purpose of melanism is still disputed within the scientific community. So how might melanism be advantageous for cats? To find out, I'd like to look at the geographic distribution of melanistic leopards. So here we have this graph of melanistic versus non-melanistic leopards and where they fall. The one thing that's important to take away from this graph is that the distribution is not random. Researchers have actually found that melanism in leopards is most common in tropical and subtropical moist forests. Conversely, black leopards were less likely to be found in open, dry habitats and temperate forests. So what we can take away from this is that melanism can be affected by environmental factors such as moisture and temperature, and it's quite possible that melanism is actually regulated by these climatic features. Now I just want to take a look at the pros and cons of melanism. Melanism can possibly provide an adaptive advantage, as I've said. Cats with black coats may be able to camouflage better at night, which is one of the really big things. And in these humid environments, such as the tropical forests, the black coat might actually help to facilitate the evaporation of water. Furthermore, animals with black coats may actually have a natural immunity against certain diseases. And finally, black fur may actually enhance thermoregulation. But on the other side, with the cons, with the black fur, it may actually cause an animal to overheat in the sun. In the open environments, that is a risk for these cats with black fur, which is why they are less likely to be found in those temperate forests and open habitats. One of the other big problems with melanism is that it would impair the visual communication of cats. Their markings are obscured, and it's actually been hypothesized that these markings are used for cats to communicate with each other. In particular, the white marks on the back of a cat's ear are actually used to deter other animals from bothering them. It's kind of like how butterflies have spots on their wings. And the white is also reflective, which can be helpful at night. And with these melanistic cats, they just don't have that. So it will impair that mode of communication, which can be problematic. But in the long run, researchers haven't really found a difference between day and night activities in melanistic versus regular cats. So really, it's still up in the air with melanism and its adaptive use. It's all about camouflage versus communication, and which is more beneficial in the long run. Just for one final fun fact for you all, melanistic cats still have markings on their fur even though they're really dark. The markings are just not as visible. For example, if you were to see Spike in direct sunlight, you'd be able to see his rosettes, and rosettes are the spots of a leopard. And they are there, you just can't see them. Thank you all so much for listening to my Wildlife Wednesday. It's my first one, so I hope you all enjoyed.